Alright, I feel like this will be the last time I talk about Jeffree Star on my channel. If it's not, then it's not, but hopefully this will be the last fucking time. So y'all know what happened. Basically, Kat Von D was like, Jeffree, we aren't friends anymore. You're kind of really messed up. I can't see, we're going in different paths in life. You like to lie on people, and that's not okay. And you need to pay my friend that helped design the beta version of your logo. And Jeffree put out his video where basically he says, Kat, you're a fucking liar. I'm glad you got cleaned off all those hard drugs you're doing. But thanks for talking about my pot smoking. And look here, I have text proof, and you can see that I said what I said, and I didn't tell you to fuck off. I told you to mind your fucking business. And blah, blah, blah. And what I'm taking from this, and then I've also been paying attention to how people are reacting to all of this, like consumers. There are consumers who side with Kat, like I do, that Jeffree is a gross person, and you shouldn't you shouldn't spend your money with somebody who's racist and vitriolic and awful like that. There are people who take Jeffree's side saying Kat's just being messy, and then there's the people who are like, I don't care about the drama, I just care about the makeup. Now, I had a video ready for today, but I wanted to put out this one because I want to explain to people that about the power of your dollar and why is this important and why we shouldn't ignore makeup quotation marks around drama, because this is important. And the power of your dollar is very important in a business sense, especially for smaller businesses. Now, big businesses, bigger companies like Sephora, like God damn it, friend. Sorry. So big companies like Sephora, like Urban Decay, Hourglass, fuck, big companies that are in, like, brands that are in Sephora. These brands, when we try to fight them with the power of our dollar, it doesn't work as well. But think about smaller indie brands. You can literally almost end an indie brand solely by pointing out small flaws. And when I say small flaws, I actually mean really huge problems, like mold in your glitter injections. Come on now. And you're still selling it, and you're trying to name something Dr. Mold. Getting off topic. The power of your dollar is very important, especially for smaller brands. Jeffree Star is a smaller brand. Yeah, they ship out a lot of product. Yeah, they have a lot of shit in stock. Yeah, they use a lab. They're still considered a small independent brand. I wouldn't want to call them indie per se, but they're still small enough that your dollar matters when you buy a lipstick from Jeffree. You are paying for his extravagant lifestyle that he's built off the back of a disgusting, pervasive, rude, entitled attitude that he sells to people, including minors. Think about this. When you watch a Jeffree video, if you watch it all the way through, you're paying him ad revenue. That's what you're paying with your time. But your time isn't as worth as much as your dollar. Your dollar goes into his pocket, and then he pays everybody else out of his pocket. But that dollar pays for the Rolls Royce he rents for that series. It pays for that house in Calabasas that he rents, probably. It pays for all these expensive cars that are possibly either rented, but they're not owned, or at least leased, probably. It pays for him to have those expensive sparkly nails. That's what your dollar is paying for. Your dollar is paying for Jeffree to have a chunk of free time to be on Twitter and say vitriolic things to people. You're paying somebody for their attitude, their look, their attitude, and their makeup. Because you're not buying Jeffree just because of the lipsticks. You're buying Jeffree because he sold that lipstick to you based off of him. He sells that shit to you every time. When he does lip swatches on Miss Jasmine ad, when he uses his assistant in a video and says that he's got a black friend so he's cool, shit like that, you're paying with your dollar every time your dollar goes in. It's like when people like me post things like, "Oh, buy black," and people call us racist. But then when we say we're not giving our money to him, we're crazy and we're just feeding into drama. No, we're trying to use the power of our the power of our dollar to incite change. And that's what I'm trying to say. The power of your dollar is important. Like, small, good indie businesses stay open as long as they can because of the power of your dollar. You're paying them to be better. You're paying them to make good content, to make good product. You're not paying YouTubers to make good content. You pay with your time, not your dollar. With Jeffree Star, he's getting both out of you. He gets the views from his videos, he gets that dollar, he gets a dollar from his makeup. Stop paying him to be bad. If he can sit and, like, when you watch both videos, not side by side, but when you watch both videos, the Kat Von D video is obviously a different quality than the Jeffree Star video. With Kat Von D sitting in a hotel room with a grainy video and just talks and tells you what happened for like 13 minutes. Jeffree's video is like 20 minutes, taking advantage of YouTube's watch time, how YouTube is paying you better for your watch time, and is heavily edited. Why? What were you editing out that you that you needed to say? That's suspicious. Jeffree's super measured and even tone versus Kat Von D, who sounds sad and broken-hearted. These are things that people were comparing, and that when you're saying, I don't want to get involved in the drama, you're trying to say, I don't really care where my money goes. It's like when you donate money to the campaign, for a political campaign. Do you not care where your dollar goes? Because then you might as well donate your money to Trump. But, you don't want Trump to be president because he's a hateful bastard? The same goddamn thing when you buy Jeffree Star lipstick. You're paying him to be a hateful bastard. And I know that people are going to say, well, Jeffree is not hateful, and he apologized for his racism. No, he apologized for being young and saying things for shock value. He didn't say what I said was completely wrong. And even then, age does not excuse racism. The N-word with the ER is not appropriate in any form. And the fact that Jeffree thinks that, it's okay if I said it when I was young, that was 10 years ago. It doesn't fucking matter. I don't walk around calling white people cracker. I don't call Japanese people Japs just because, I'm 21. I can call them whatever the fuck I want. No, I don't call people racial slurs. I don't see a Chinese person and say, that nigga looks chinky. No, I don't fucking say shit like that. And yes, I know I just said 2 racial slurs and three if you count cracker. But I'm saying it as an example. You don't walk around saying shit like that at any age because your parents taught you better. Like, mine taught me better. My mom would have slapped the shit out of me. Then she would have told my grandma. She would have slapped the shit out of me. Who would have told my great-grandmother, who would have slapped the shit out of me twice in a Target. Straight up. He's inappropriate. He's unrepentant. He only says, I'm sorry, when he realizes that these are the things that can actually hurt his money, his paycheck, that dollar, that bottom line. Kat is pulling Jeffree, right? Is pulling Jeffree. The shade's probably going to pop up with a new name, a more tactful name, just like how Bauhaus used to be Mal5, or whatever, Mouse probably. She's just changing because she's cut these people out of her life, and she doesn't need a constant reminder. And it's frustrating that people are like, Kat's being messy, but Kat just told the truth. He didn't pay my friend. Like, pay BJ. Hashtag pay BJ, right? But he did pay BJ. And then BJ now can't talk about the issue anymore. Which means the money came with an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement. Which means that BJ can't tell us anything else. Because Jeffree has paid him for silence. And for what he took. The fact that he's like, well, I had another artist and that artist said, Jeffree brought in his own sketch. Now, I don't know about you, but I never seen that nigga draw in my life. How do you know Jeffree's sketch wasn't BJ's beta mock-up and Jeffree brought that in and made his logo? Mock-ups count as money. You don't get free mock-ups. It's like if a tattoo artist draws you a tattoo, but then you can't afford the tattoo. You don't get to take that design with you. That's their intellectual property. And that's why he was supposed to pay BJ in the first fucking place. I spent all my money on my brand. Well, obviously you didn't allocate your expenses correctly if you felt like you needed to steal a logo. But I'm getting long-winded on this. I'm just trying to say the power of your dollar is very, very important. You don't like Kat? Well, when you don't buy from Kat, but you buy from Sephora, she's still getting paid. She's got contracts. She's got other money coming in. People like Jeffree, who try to do, let's talk appearance fees at Orlando, where the shooting was. Right. But Jeffree's so humble. Kat is like, legitimately, I don't see Kat Von D everywhere. They're trying to push a life of luxury. I don't. Jeffree does. Talks about how his brand's so vegan and how he's so wonderful, but he buys leather goods and just non-vegan things. I don't know. That I don't touch the vegan argument. My whole thing is Jeffree is messy. We already knew this. But the fact that Jeffree feels like he needs to sling mud and talk about how Kat's had failed relationships right after she posted her video and she wrote her piece on Instagram, the fact that Jeffree slings mud instead of looking at himself and saying, I just drove away a longtime friend, maybe there's a problem here. That's what the fucking problem is. That's what the fucking problem is. That he slings mud. And now he's come out with his statement and everyone's like, oh, he said sorry. Yeah. And the video just resurfaced that wasn't the weird skit thingy where he said he would throw acid on some. It's a skit. It's a skit. I have to keep saying that because some people think he actually meant that. It was a skit. It's not appropriate to say in any sense or form, but it was a skit where he said he'd throw acid on a black woman's face to make her skin lighter and called her the N-word. There is a non-skit. Him yelling out of the car window, nigger at people. Yeah, I said it, and I don't like that word. That is a disgusting word. It's disgusting. And the fact that he would yell, it's multiple instances of him doing that, harassing girls, trying to fight some girl who didn't do anything to him. That kind of awful, disgusting behavior you want to put money into? Then we don't need to be talking. Go ahead, block me or leave a comment so I can block you. Because that is a disgusting person. And I just do not want any part of that. Thank you for listening, and I know that this is kind of this is drama, and I don't intend to become a drama channel. I just feel really strongly about this. A lot of YouTubers that use Jeffree Star are stopping. Some people who were trying to buy him aren't buying him, and people who aren't talking about him still ain't talking about him. But anyway, I want to thank you guys so very, very, very much for listening, and I will see you next week. Bye.